You're now entering the city of the Crimson Tower. The 5 of our crew had been surprised by 2 children out on the streets of Bridgewater, the town they were just dropped off in, with very little explanation as to why. Those children asked for help saving their brother and their parents from a monster that was inside their house. So, after some foot dragging, the 5 entered the house and began to try to look for the baby Walter that the 2 children, Rosa and Thornbolt, had spoken of. And they let our 5 know that Walter was up on one of the top floors. The crew quickly headed up to the 3rd floor, noticing some strange things on the 1st and 2nd levels without delving too deep into them. On the 3rd floor, found the room of what appeared to be a nursemaid, an empty crib, and a spectral individual that you all spoke with, discovered her name was Margot, and that she was, in fact, the nursemaid to Walter and caretaker of the other 2 children as well. You 5 then ascended into the attic, where you found a storage room. And in that storage room, a chest, emanating from it the smell of rot. And when it was kicked open, wrapped in a blood-stained blanket, the bones and body that Karina was able to identify as belonging to none other than Margot. The clothing, the tatters of clothing on this corpse matched that in the ghostly apparition you saw previously. And then you headed to a bedroom that was locked from the outside with a padlock. Popping it and heading inside, you found 2 small bodies. And eventually, 2 small ghosts, who appeared when you started to fiddle with a dollhouse replica of the very house that you were in. Using that dollhouse and asking the children, you managed to find an entrance to the basement located up here in the attic in that same storage room. And so you started to descend. Most of you walking, one of you scooting down on your butt. And it goes down and down and down, the length of the descent exaggerated by the closeness and how every single step feels precarious. But eventually, as you continue to descend, you hear something, and it begins to grow louder. Chanting. Incessant, otherworldly chanting. And you don't even see the bottom yet. The stairs creak beneath your feet. And 9, as the sound of the chanting continues to grow louder, you see the end of the staircase. And where it opened was a small hallway that was carved out of the earth and clay and rock. The tunnel here is only about 4 feet wide, about 7 feet high. There are occasional timber braces every 5 or 6 feet. And as you step down from the wooden staircase, the chanting louder. The corridor that you're in branches to the left and to the right. And you can't tell if one direction sounds like the chanting is any louder coming from that way. But on either side of the corridor, there are large standing stone slabs that have been set aside, leaning against the walls, opening the way to a pair of dark, quiet rooms. And there is a pair on either side of the hallway. So a pair to the left and a pair that you can see to the right. And as you step down, you have flashlights, fortunately, because it is dark down here. There is no source of natural light. And as the two beams from the flashlights start to scour for details, eventually one of them lands on one of the slabs to the right. And it traces over the etching of a name: Walter Durst. And it is here, at this crossway, standing between these stone slabs leading to these dark chambers, that we pick up.
Ooh, the fuck? Plus the kid in the basement.
That's exactly what I was going to say. And he like pulls up his pants, but they go straight back down to his hips. I don't think that anyone in their right mind would put a big baby in a basement, especially alone, right?
They had the kids locked up upstairs. I don't think anybody's in their right mind in this household.
I keep forgetting that this is actual hell. Yeah.
Can I go up to, you said that it was written on the wall?
It's written on one of the stone slabs that is leaning near the entryway to these darkened rooms. So it's not part of the wall. The stone slab looks like it's intended to be not a door, but a seal to these rooms, but they're currently set to the side. These look like family crypts down here.
And it says Walter. Can I go up to it and see if there's any way to tell when Walter was carved or written on there?
Absolutely. So this this particular slab is relatively close to where you came down. You walk over to it. You said you were trying to date it, like see how old it is?
Yeah, I just, if Walter's like the baby that we were looking for, I'd love to know kind of when was this made?
Totally, absolutely. Make me a notice check if you wouldn't mind, Gloria. While Gloria is doing that, yeah, Karina.
Is there any other, like, slabs with writing on them?
No need for a notice check on that. So let me hear what Gloria got, and then we'll jump back to that.
With the 3, I anticipate that I go over to the slab and I'm just still kind of like overcome with emotion from seeing the ghosts and the kids.
You raise your hand up to the etched in letters, just letting your fingertips trace over it, and it is indeed real. You aren't able to guess its age, however. But do you have one of the 2 flashlights? Okay. Then at the moment, that is all you are able to see, as you're basically utilizing the ambient light created by the flashlight just to make it over here and feel around with your hand. Now, Karina, I know you do have one of the 2 flashlights. So your question was if any of the other slabs have writing on them. I would imagine because of your protective, or because of your relationship that you've already started to form with Gloria, you would have headed that way first.
Yeah, probably.
So you look at the second slab near the one that Gloria's inspecting, and it is blank. Still leaning on a nearby wall that has a dark, crypt-like chamber beyond it. As you are over there, you also let your flashlight go into the chamber that the slab with Walter's name on it is right outside of. And you immediately wish that you hadn't. Because this whole room, which isn't large, but it is covered in swollen, bloody cysts that cover the walls of this crypt like tumors. From time to time, they pulsate and burst, streams of pus oozing down, collecting on the floor underneath. And as both of your eyes can't help but stare into this room, in the distance, you hear an infant's quiet whimpering.
Is it coming from within the room?
Doesn't sound like it.
Okay, thank God. I don't want to go in there.
Did you hear that?
I did, Gloria. Can we pinpoint which direction it came from at all?
No. Just like the chanting, it doesn't seem to have, at least from where you currently are, a noticeable direction. It just is. Now, please continue.
Brock just, a slight interruption. Brock just puts his fingers in both of his ears and just goes,
now, if it's all right with you, Karina, as you and Gloria were over there looking at this slab and looking into this room, Hawthorne and Nine, would the 2 of you have been glancing around at any of the other slabs in here or doing anything while Brock is covering his ears and Gloria and Karina are off inspecting 2 of the crypts and slabs?
At this point in time, Nine still bloodthirsty at this point because he wants his pound of flesh at this point in time. Who hurt the kids? Nine would I would be trying to figure out which direction the sound was coming from, either getting closer to the ground or just being able to use my ears to figure out which way. And sniff around to see what I could smell.
Hawthorne's doing the same thing, and he's the one with the... So him and Nine are sort of together, like looking around and stuff like that.
Excellent. So in that case, really quick, Nine, could you make me a notice check for sniffing? Hold on to it. Hawthorne, you, with the flashlight, are glancing around, and the beam does fall on some of the other slabs, and you're able to see that Off here to the right, so again, you stepped out, it branched to the left and it branched to the right. Gloria and Karina went to the left. Of the two crypts there, the one on the right had Walter's name on it, the one on the left was blank. But you and Nine went to the right at the branch. And here, there are two crypts at each side of the hallway. So there are 4 here. And the first slab that you look at with your flashlight reads Gustav Durst. Now keep in mind, these are just the slabs that you can see from where you are. There is a room beyond each one of them, but you're not in them yet, so you can't see them. So you see one that bears the name Gustav Durst. Another, Elizabeth Durst. A third, Rosavalda Durst. And a fourth, Thornbolt Durst. All of the slabs are currently leaning to the sides, for the most part. There is at least a way into each of the crypts, even if it's just a narrow passage. Now, with that said, 9, what did you get on your notice check? 1. I have a question for you. You really want to find the origin of this sound. And the hallway goes to the left, like I said, the direction that Karina and Gloria went, and then turns, and you can't see what's beyond that. To the right, you can see that it leads to a dark, larger room. And because you have dark vision, you're able to make out the shape of a wooden table in that larger room. But that said, you can't tell what direction the sound is coming from. And so my question for you is, how does 9 respond to that? Not just being unable to tell, but perhaps the realization that he can't tell.
Nine will get incredibly angry. Because while 9 is a very calm, cool, collected cat, no pun intended, he has a very short temper. Very short temper. And the fact that he can't figure something out, or, be able to help his compatriots in this point in time, knowing that he really wants to find who hurt those kids and where the baby is. He is going to honestly rip the one where the table is, the door, off of the hinges. Just rip it off and throw it.
And there's just this loud clattering of wood as it shatters in as you throw it into the larger room.
Fucking damn it! Oh, okay. We're good. We're good. Calm it down. Calm it down.
Take a deep breath, man. You
Yes,
got
sir.
this.
I can't. There's too many fucking sounds down here. There's too many smells. I can't figure out where it's from. I gotta hear a crying baby somewhere. There's too many fucking smells down here. I'm pretty sure these are like family tombs or whatever, and whatever. But the kids are dead. All right, the fucking nanny's dead. Okay, so are we expected to find a dead child down here? Because I don't know how long it's been down here. Fucking.
Oh yeah.
Don't know where everything is. What?
Oh yeah. There's if they were dead and she was dead, it stands to reason that the infant will also be very dead.
That's really pessimistic. Don't you think it's possible that they...
And he is going to look directly at you, and he's going to kind of straighten up his coat and kind of stand up. My dear, I appreciate your positive outlook, but then he gestures to the room. But look, where we are looking for a child.
Okay, they're probably dead, but we
Yeah.
they might not be. I guess we'll.
Maybe. If not dead, I will personally buy you a drink.
I can't help but to agree that possibly dead, but my eyes are kind of looking for perhaps he's the monster, like the child did this. That painting upstairs really messed with me, and I can't help but to think about how the mother was looking at the child, and maybe they brought him down here for a reason.
You guys, are we forgetting about that we don't know who we are?
Um,
There's that big thing where we all are here and we don't know what the heck's going on. We're trying to solve this problem. We got our own freaking problems here.
I mean, you're not wrong, but also I feel like this is more pressing than our identity issues.
Do you think that knowing who you are would help us solve the case? Because if so, then maybe we should take a moment and do some reflection.
Brock looks around the room, and he snaps his coat onto his shoulders. Yes, indeed. Upon reflection, you are all a hallucination, and we are in an illusion.
9 has already walked into the room, by the way.
Which room? Because
the
like I
room.
said, it goes two directions. One where it turns to the left, and one with the table. Are you heading
Table.
to... Okay.
Because I ripped the door off that hinge.
It's true. What about the rest of you as 9 is heading that way? Are you staying here in this hallway space? Are you investigating any of the crypts? What are you doing?
You guys, I think 9 went in there. I'm going to take a look in Rose's little area here with my flashlight. I just want to peek inside. These are kind of intriguing, but I'm a little big to climb in, so I don't really want to get in there.
I absolutely do not want to look into the room that has like the pulsing things. And so I'm gonna like stick close to Karina, but try to inch away from there.
I think noticing your discomfort, Karina's going to look one last time in case this whole room thing is the same as the suit of armor with the disappearing head. So she's just going to like glance back once more to see if it's still disgusting and pustule.
It's still there.
And then keeping herself between Gloria and the room, she's just going to slowly inch towards where the rest of the group is and probably maybe in a way lead Gloria to stand just outside the door that 9 entered. And using her flashlight, she's just going to kind of keep an eye out and see if she can't pinpoint where noises are coming and like get an idea of her surroundings a bit more.
As everybody shuffles, Brock is going to stand in whatever doorway, and he's gonna like, oh wow, this doorway is really he's trying to tell me. Oh, and then he's trying not to go ahead, and then he just and then follows.
So, first, Hawthorne. You, again, the flashlight passes over the name, Rosavalda Durst. And then you just lean over and let the flashlight go into this room. And it's a simple 10-foot by 6-foot room carved out of the stone and earth and clay. There is a stone bier here, so a stone, not altar, but a stone slab, essentially a raised stone platform. And on top of it is a coffin. But the lid is off of it, leaned against one of the nearby walls. There are no horrifying pustules in here. Nothing grotesque. Not even the smell of rot and death, more just the smell of dry stone. Do you look in the coffin?
Oh no, Hawthorne is not going into the area.
Okay. Well then, from here, that's what you see. At the same time, 9, and then slowly the rest of you are able to see the details of this next room. This room is larger. It's no longer cramped, unlike the tunnel you were just in. It's about 20 by 15 feet. There is a plain wooden table, wooden chairs that look like they may have been nice at one point, but they're clearly being used down here now because they are no longer high quality. They are cracked and broken in some spots, but they function. But that is not at all what catches your interest. What catches your interest goes in 2 different orders. For 9, because of your dark vision, you see things in here first. The rest of you, even though you have flashlights, the visibility is a little bit difficult. It's spotty. So you smell it first. The smell that all of you eventually do smell is that of gore and rot, so coppery with blood that you can taste it on your tongue. And what you see that catches your eye, aside from the table and the chairs, are bones scattered across this floor. Lots of them. Not enough that you can't step on the dirt and not on a bone, but it is not table scraps amount of bones.
Are they obviously like human bones, or is there a variety?
Why don't you make me a healing check if you don't mind?
Why do you always do skills I don't
Because
have?
you keep asking for it.
Okay.
It's not my fault.
Yes, it is.
Very obviously not a place of respect. As you're doing your thing.
Sorry, I need to figure out how you roll again when you don't have the skill.
So it's just a D4, and it's going to be -2.
Oh, okay. And alright. Okay, I got a 6. Wait, I got a 6 minus 2, so 4.
Woo! So you exploded, which is
did.
exactly what you need to succeed at something you're unskilled at. And you got a 6, -2, 4, so you got exactly what you needed for the target number here. Now, your question was, are they human? I'm going to hedge here a little, and I'm going to say humanoid, because we do exist in a universe with elves and humans and half-elves and half-orcs, and a lot of the bone structure is fairly similar. But I will say, definitely sentient humanoid.
Alright.
And are those... There are nicks on the bones, occasionally. With just a 4, you can't tell what they're from. Maybe they're chipped over time. Maybe it's from a knife.
Does it look similar at all to the nicks on the bones of the maid that I saw earlier?
Similar, not identical.
Okay.
There are 3 pathways from this room that you can see. There's the one you entered through, which is to the north. There is also a path to the south and to the west.
How big did you say the chamber is? Like, how close are we to these dead people?
It's about 20 by 15 feet. So at any given spot, you have bones within 2 or so feet of you, if you're trying to push all the way as far from one as you can.
Okay, so Hawthorne in this situation would literally, after seeing the bones and the gore, start to freak out and impulsively walk down a hallway, and he's going to choose the west one because it's going to be the closest.
Okay. You step out, Hawthorne. You step out of the western doorway here. How far are you trying to walk, or are you just trying to leave this room slightly behind
I'm
you?
trying to get out of this room. I'm not used to this kind of gore, so I'm kind of like gonna vomit or something.
Got it. So you step out of this room, and the hallway you step into zigs and zags. So you can't see exactly where it goes. But you are able to just step out and lean your forearm against one of the walls, your head against your forearm, just trying to let your stomach and your mind stabilize. 9.
Upon entering the room and seeing all the bones and stuff scattered around, 9 would like to do in many horror situations that most people do not do, and that is look up.
The room is about 8 feet tall. It has those wooden bracings I was talking about in here. Make me a notice check.
Wow! Critical failure.
Oof. You still obviously see the ceiling and all of that. There isn't anything that sticks out to you, that jumps out to you. It clearly was carved. You notice those braces. It's really all you're able to get from the ceiling.
Cool, I'm gonna grab one of the bones and just kind of put it in my pocket. Like a femur of some sort.
There are a number of long, sturdy-looking bones here.
Cool, I'm gonna grab that, put it in my bag.
Are they like wet to where like his pocket's now like wet from blood and stuff?
Love the question from a gore perspective, but no, they aren't. They're dry and old and brittle. In fact, they're very clean of meat.
Is there anything on the table? Like, does it look like it was a workshop table or a desk? Like, is the wood damaged heavily from tools, or is it clean, and is there any papers or anything?
It's a plain wooden table. It doesn't bear any of it. Is not a desk. It doesn't bear marks that immediately make you think that it's a workshop table. It seems it would fit a shabby dining room table.
I'm getting a little worried that Hawthorne is just kind of running off. And we're in a bit of a creepy basement. And so I'm hesitant to step on any of the bones. And so I want to kind of like ballerina hop through to try to follow Hawthorne through the west door.
Well, Hawthorne is just right outside the door. So you were able to step right outside and find him.
So as I step out, I kind of bump into you and be like, oh, sorry, I just didn't want you to run off.
Oh, it's okay. That was a lot of bones in there. I'm not used to that. Oh.
Are you okay? Do you need anything?
No, I think I'm okay. Where are we? And Hawthorne's gonna lift up the light just to look around.
You can see that the tunnel you're in goes on about 5 or 7 feet past you and then turns to the left.
I know you weren't remembering much of your past. I mean, I don't remember any of mine either. But you said you haven't been around this sort of thing much.
Oh, I guess not. I feel like I'm gonna vomit. I haven't seen that many bones in my life, I guess.
I don't think that number of bones is a normal thing to have in a room.
Well, y'all seem fine. I just
I
want to
think
say
I'm in a
that.
state of shock. If I'm being honest, I think I've sort of gone into shock.
Okay. You seem real happy. I mean, but
Happiness is a state of mind.
good point. Good point. Yeah, I'm not there yet. Where's everybody else? Brock, 9.
Brock is in. You hear him shuffling around in the room, and he's kind of mumbling to himself. He's got his head hung over. He's got his hands in the deep pockets of his long coat, and you can hear him kick a bone. Oh, I figured it out. I have it. And he picks up one of the bones and he looks at it. This is like one of those themed parks. These are props. So it's, and then he tosses the bone on the ground, and his eyes get really, really wide, and he puts his hands out. It's all fake, right?
I think the second you toss the bone, Karina's gonna make her way to Brock. I don't think disrespect bodies that way. Please.
It's fake.
No, it's. If you're gonna do that again, please step out of.
Smells real from here.
Look at it. It's mark. It's clean. It looks sculpted.
Brock, please.
And he just looks at you, and he's like, you can see that his vein is just shaking in his neck.
I think if she sees that, she's going to go and place a hand on his shoulder. Not like super quickly, like enough time that he can mentally prepare for it. Take a breath. Take a moment. If you need to, step outside with Hawthorne. But you need to take a minute, and you need to relax.
And he starts tugging at his shirt. And he just immediately walks over to Hawthorne and just looks.
She's just going to watch him go, and then using her flashlight, she's going to start at one side and slowly go through the bones, looking for bones that are small enough to be that of an infant.
I'll carry over your previous healing check for this, since it's still largely the same thing. You set yourself to the grim task of trying to catalog these bones. How long are you willing to spend sorting these bones? There are not a small amount.
I think she will just start working through it until people tell her to stop.
Okay. Well, then I will let you know what you find, depending on when you stop.
So Hawthorne's gonna, whenever Brock starts to come over towards Hawthorne, Hawthorne's gonna put both of his hands on either side of his shoulders and look at Brock, because Brock's kind of shaking and sweating. Hawthorne's gonna pull something out of his pocket that looks like a bunch of strings sort of in like pretty braids and knots, and he's gonna be like, I really don't know what this is, but it makes me feel better holding it. So would you like to hold it for a little bit, and maybe it might make you feel better. Just breathe a little bit and we can get through this.
He doesn't So as he's like hunched and he has to look up at you. You're quite a bit larger than he is, and he's got his hands crunched in front of him over his sternum, and he looks at the string, and he looks at you like he wants it, but he just can't say anything to you.
So I'm gonna just grab his hand, petting it a little bit, and then I'm gonna put the string in it and close his hand.
It is calming, as tried as it is. Wait! And then he opens his hand like this to you. What a don't you here? And he puts one end in your hand and the other end in his hand. We could share it.
I'm happy to share it with you. And he'll put his arm around him. So they're right next to each other. It's easier to share it.
Nervous laughter.
And what about Gloria and Nine during all of this? Gloria, are you still out there with Brock and Hawthorne as well?
I'm just kind of watching them. And I also imagine, so we were in the hallway, we walked into this room, and then we walked out through another door. And so I just I just want to look around. I want to keep seeing if I hear that baby cry again. And then
Okay.
I'm just I just want to kind of keep my eyes open.
So like I said, the tunnel that you're in goes on for about 8 feet, then veers to the left. So you just, as Hawthorne and Brock are having this moment, just step down and look down that bend. And what you see is a staircase, small staircase, nothing like what you just dealt with, only about 7 or so steps. And they descend to a quiet landing. In front, so directly across from you, you can see that the stairs then continue to descend on the opposite side of that landing and lead into a broader, large chamber. Now, if you wanted to walk forward to the landing, you could see what's down that hallway potentially as well.
I imagine that I would try to get close to the stairs, see if I could crane, sort of start to move forward, but maybe my wings are a little bit off-centered. I get a little off-balanced, and I probably like stumble down a few steps and be like, oh, don't worry, I'm not leaving you guys. I'm still right here.
I would have noticed.
Oh yeah, I mean, you hear the slight stumble and the, I'm all right. And Gloria, we see Gloria's head poke around the corner from these steps. And there are 2 things that you notice. First, the landing continues on in a straight, lonely corridor. You notice that at the end of that corridor, there seems to be another descent. From right here, you can't see the stairs, but you can see that the ceiling angles as it would with a staircase. The second thing that you notice is that down that hall, not right across from me, but down that lonely pathway, the chanting that you've been hearing this whole time seems louder.
Guys, I don't know if it's normal for basements to have a basement, but I think I hear the chanting. I think I know where it's coming from.
Don't go any further. Guys.
Go
Nothing's
further?
normal about this
Okay.
place. No, Gloria, come back. Karina, come and get Gloria.
9?
Oh, 9 was behind Gloria the entire time. I was just
Oh.
you haven't. It's
Oh.
okay. It's all right. I get quiet.
We're
sometimes
holding
when I get
hands.
nervous. Yeah,
Very,
yes.
very sneaky. Cat-like even.
It's what I do. So when you turned around, you just bumped right into me. Hi, what's going on? What do you hear?
I will say really quick, because Karina was just called, as we see Karina having sorted through some of these bones. Not a huge percentage, but some. And just glancing around, you don't notice any that seem small enough to be an infant.
All right. I think after she hears Karina followed by "Come get Gloria," she's gonna stop immediately with what she's doing and just beeline it out the door, past the two holding the string, and just make her way to where Gloria went.
I think I found the chanting, and the basement has a basement.
Well, let's get everyone together. We're not going down there without everyone, and we need to make sure Brock is okay before we bring him down.
I'm fine. And he sits on the stairs and he looks back at Hawthorne. You hold the string of grounding. And he sits on the stairwell and goes down on his butt on each of the stairs.
You can still do that, but I just want to make clear that these are not the same narrow, rickety stairs.
Oh, never mind. He'll
now,
do
if you still want to do that,
Nope.
if that's just Brock's thing.
No, it's only when it's narrow. So he just uses his feet to do stair stuff.
Gonna make him a butt scooter. I was all here for making him a butt scooter. Just
So the five of you have gathered together, and right now, I think the five of you are at this intersection where there are stairs, the 6 or 7 steps leading back up to the dining room, 6 or 7 stairs leading down right across from them to a large chamber. And then there's the hallway that continues on. And this hallway is surprisingly bereft of any debris. Pretty clean, all things considered. I will also say, as you all are standing here, you suddenly hear a sound from the direction of the other descending staircase, from that larger chamber. Splashing. And just as quickly as it started, it's gone.
So that was coming from where the chanting is coming from?
No. That was coming from the staircase opposite the one you just came down. So you're at a T right now. You came from this way, the splashing came from this way, and from down is the direction of the hallway and the chanting.
you heard that, right?
The ominous splashing?
Yeah, the splash.
Yeah. I don't know which one is more ominous, the chanting or the splashing.
I'm not really good with water. Unless if it's like open, like I fear this one might be.
You're better with
Contained
people,
water,
are you better with people in like occult situations? Or is that what you're saying? Like,
Well, I guess
sweet talk our way
presumably
out of this?
they would be mostly water if they were humanoid, but it would be contained at least? Is that your question?
So encapsulated water is okay.
Yeah.
Open spaces are not.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's one vote for ominous chanting then.
I would like a question. How deep is the water that's there right now? I'm just curious. 9 is very curious how deep the water is right there. Cool. I'm just gonna pick up a rock on the ground and throw it in the water and see where it goes.
We don't see water, do we?
No, there's no visible water as of now, but you throw this rock into the chamber across from the way that you came, and you just hear the of the rock impacting the stone ground.
Oh, hell, come on. And then I'm just going to walk straight into the room with my flashlight.
I love having someone in the party who's impulsive. I love it. And for that reason, take a penny.
Karina is gonna hold her hand out, Gloria,
I'm gonna
Once
take
again.
it immediately.
and then leading Gloria, she's gonna slowly follow Hawthorne down that hallway, so he's not going alone.
Brock, 9, are the two of you following along, or are you staying at this intersection?
Come on, Brock. Let's go.
How deep was the water, did you say?
There was no water. It was
No.
just rock and skipping. That's all it was.
Okay. And he's just gonna proceed forward.
With Hawthorne leading, the 5 of you head into the chamber opposite the direction that you came. You only have to climb down 6 or 7 stairs, stone or earthen stone stairs hewn out of the earth itself. The ceiling in this chamber is about a foot higher than the ceiling of the tunnel you were just in, so about 9 feet. It's supported by more of those thick wooden posts and cross beams, but a number of them have rotted with age and bear the markings of hungry insects that have eaten away part of the crossbeams. There's a lonely well that stands at the center of this room. Surrounded on 3 sides of the room, there are smaller alcove-like chambers that have been carved into or out of the walls. You, from right here, can't make out anything in those alcoves, but you can see that they exist. You can also see, one, that there is another set of stairs leading north out of this room. There are only 2 exits to this room that you see. The pathway you came in and that stairwell, again, shorter stairwell, to the north. As you all scuffle in here, as you all walk in, you see that there's an old hempen rope attached to a rusted pulley over the mouth of the well. And the rope is swaying gently, as if someone had just finished drawing water. And that's all that you see in this larger chamber, just those alcoves carved out of the wall, the gently swaying rope and bucket, and the well, and the stairway on the opposite side. You can still hear the chanting. It is slightly quieter than it was at the intersection just moments ago, but it's still quite present.
Does the rope look like it's holding any weight? Like, is it taut?
Yeah, it's not like flailing or anything like there's a fish caught on the opposite side or anything, but it doesn't look like it's not supporting any weight.
Oh, all right. Karina will let Gloria's hand go and, using her flashlight, gently make her way to the well, and before she can second guess it, she's going to look down the well.
First, You see what's on the opposite end of the rope, and it is a wooden bucket. The interior of the well itself, first of all, it descends about 30 feet. It's about 4 feet in diameter, 3 feet. The well comes about 3 feet high off the ground, the lip of it. And as you look down, you immediately, the first thing you probably notice is the reflection of your flashlight on water at the bottom. The next thing you notice is that the walls, the interior of the well itself, are covered with mold or fungus, an ash black variety.
Mystery solved, you guys. We're in a creepy room now.
Okay, it's not as creepy as the last one.
I mean, it's a lot less bloody. I think Karina is gonna still be looking like down the well, or to see like what could have caused the splashing.
You look down, the water looks still, undisturbed.
Hawthorne's gonna take flashlight and look at the ground while Karina's looking at the well to see if there's any footprints while she's trying to see.
Love that. Absolutely. Without even a notice check, because they aren't difficult to spot. With your flashlight, there are old footprints that crisscross the floor, leading around the well and into those alcoves. And both to the stairway that you came from and to the stairwell at the northern side. It looks like this room, at some point in time, was traversed rather frequently.
Ethan, if I were to draw water from the well, can I compare that noise to the one we heard and see if they are similar at all?
Certainly. So you, using the rope and pulley system, lower with the squealing sound of old rusted parts. The bucket lowers and splashes in, and there is the gurgling sound as water is taken into the bucket. It does sound like water. It's not the same sound you heard.
Alrighty. Is there any splashes along the side of the well at all?
That one I'm going to ask for a notice check, because that's very particular to see.
That's a 6.
6? You don't notice any splashes. It could be because the mold that's growing here is covering any splash marks. Maybe there just aren't any.
Alright. Have we seen enough here?
Nan, can you tell, like, how old these people are, these footprints? Like, if they're kids or if they're adults? Can you tell anything about it with your, cat-like reflexes?
It doesn't work that way, but I could try. I'm good at tracking people, no problem. When I find, I never sink my teeth into something I don't ever let go. I would like to do that.
For trying to make a determination like that, that is also going to be a notice check. Notice is 90% of things in Savage Worlds.
Explosions. I got an 8.
8. So that is a success with a raise. So then, because you got a raise, I will answer both of those questions that you were looking for. First, whether or not it's the footprints of children. Almost certainly not. At least not Rosa and Thornbolt. Too small. They are too small. The footprints are too large. It'd be funny if the footprints were too small. But the second question of possibly how old they are, it's a little difficult to tell just because of where you are. That you're underground, that it's been undisturbed. You don't have the usual evidence that you might go off of. But decades?
Can I also determine with that, or I'll roll again. Can I tell whether they're male or female? Like the shoe size, or like the shoe print. Are they like lady boots or men boots? The treads. Like that's what I meant.
What I will say is that you don't notice anything that's like high heels or anything that makes you immediately go, aha! But that is pretty tough to determine. If there isn't anything as obvious as that, it's pretty tough to determine whether the people wearing these generic boots were smaller men, larger women. Hard to tell.
I asked that because we were looking for the mom and mom, all of that stuff. So that's
totally get it.
Yep.
But you don't notice anything here that you might associate with the footwear of the lady of the house.
So, you want the good news or the bad news?
I don't know, man. Everything's bad right now. Just give me news.
Well, the bad news is they're decades old, so they could be anybody's.
Fuck.
The good news is they are actual footprints and not any apparitions or spiritual or, not being there.
You
Those
hear that,
are
Brock? They're real.
Sure they are. Like everything else in this place.
Exactly. See, now you're picking it up. I kind of feel like we should go try to hear those voices.
Why would we want to do that?
Because it'll get us to where we need to go.
Where is that? Where are we going? I really want to know what your answer for this one is.
Well, what we're supposed to be doing is what we got sent here to do. Find Walter.
I
Kid.
agree. I feel like there's something to that. Like when I went to try to follow the kids when they were running away, I almost felt like the fog was corralling me back. Like I was supposed to be here. And the kids said that there was a monster in the basement, and while we've seen all of these horrific things, we haven't actually found another living creature living here.
As much as I do not want to go down there, I have to agree. We have not found a monster in this basement. We've seen plenty of evidence, and for whatever reason, whether it be the fog, whether it be whatever strange circumstance brought us to this world, it's not a hallucination, Brock. I feel like we need to finish it before we can make our way out of here. Perhaps we'll learn more about ourselves if we do finish it. Maybe it's the key. I don't know.
Hawthorne's just gonna roll his eyes and go, oh my god. You guys, we gotta make a decision which way to go. So what if we don't find any living people here? What if they're all dead? What are we gonna do then?
A job's a job. We finish it. We get evidence. If there's no evidence of a kid, we know what happens. Then we just fucking leave. And on that note, 9 just fucking leaves towards the chanting.
So heading back the direction that you
Correct.
went before. Got it.
Correct.
Karina will hold her hand out. She'll wipe it on her pants first, and then hold her hand out to Gloria again, and then follow 9.
Hawthorne's really curious what's in the other area.
Because there are, just a reminder, Hawthorne, since you are still in there, in addition to the stairwell heading to the north, there were several alcoves, rooms that were carved into the walls in this chamber. Just a reminder.
Hawthorne impulsively will walk up to one of the rooms on his way out of this area to look inside.
Okay, because you said you'll head up to one of them on your way out, that limits which ones. So, what you see is a very simple room. It's about 10 by 10. No real adornment here. There's a wood-framed bed with a moldy mattress and a footlocker at the bottom of it, at the foot of the bed. That's it.
A footlocker, like a thing to open?
Like a chest. Not like a chain that sells athletic shoes.
Is
But
it
like-
shiny in any way or anything like that?
The chest, it has
Like metal on it?
It has metal banding on it for stability and structural integrity, but it is predominantly wood, but it does have metal pieces and hinges and all of that.
So as the light goes across the room, it glistens on this little bit of metal that's shining next to the bed frame. And Hawthorne gets freaking curious fast, and since he's busted open a lock before, with Karina's help, of course, he wants to try it again.
There's not even a lock on this. Do you open it?
Yeah, so I'll walk in and I'll be staring around the room as I walk in to ensure nothing is around me at the same time. Yeah. And then Hawthorne's gonna sort of bend down because he's pretty tall. Sorry, he's gonna bend down. He's gonna open up the chest and lift it up, slowly looking in with the flashlight pointed at the chest, nothing else.
The chest is empty, save for one item. A book. It has a grimy black leather exterior. It isn't mass-produced book. This looks hand-bound.
Well, what in the heck do we have here? And he's gonna pick up the book, and while holding the flashlight, he's gonna just look it over a little bit, and he's gonna try and see if he can at least notice any writing on it.
On the
That's what it
outside,
is.
no writing. Just
Okay.
that grimy leather.
Okay, he's gonna literally look up and look around to make sure nothing else is still around him and there's no doll sitting in a rocking chair that's gonna terrorize him. And then he's gonna put the book in his jacket pocket and walk out towards the rest of the group.
Got it. That whole thing takes you about 60 seconds. So the rest of you, Hawthorne will catch up in 60 seconds. The rest of you head back towards this intersection. And where you are right now, just as a reminder, there's the way you just came, to the room with the well. There's the stairway that snakes back to the dining room. And then there's this long, empty hallway where the chanting seems louder. And from here, now that you're at this point, you can see that there is, in fact, a stairwell, an earthen staircase that descends into darkness on the opposite side of this hallway. You can also make out that just before that stairwell, still down the hallway, to your left, there's another opening where it branches off. So there are two pathways down there. So in the 60 seconds before Hawthorne rejoins you all, what would you all have been doing?
I think Karina is going to turn her ear towards the chanting, and if it is a bit louder than it was before, she's going to try to make out whether she can catch a language or any words, or any connotations or anything at all.
You know that there's something that is being repeated. It sounds like 2 phrases being repeated. But at this point, you understand them almost the same way as musical phrases, more than linguistic phrases. You hear phrase A and phrase B. Phrase A and phrase B. From here, can't quite discern what they are saying, though.
When I notice Karina stop, I've spent a lot of time researching the occult. Do I get the sense that there might be something more going on here? Or would I need to be closer to kind of hear?
Can I ask you what you might mean by more? Can't hear you.
I know that knowledge is power, but often that leads to madness. But it's chanting like this seems like it could be summoning something. And I'm starting to get this fear that we're just wasting our time. Like we need to go figure this out. And so I'm wondering, do I feel like a sense of magic? Does it seem like maybe there's something happening?
Go ahead
us?
and make me that occult check.
Uh, 11.
Woo! Almost 2 raises. But success and a raise. This chanting, because of the repetitive nature of it, definitely feels ceremonial. It's definitely, you are confident that it is not chanting solely done for meditation or worship or anything quite like that, but that it is indeed likely part of a ritual of some variety. Now, from what you can hear and what information you have, what ritual? You did get an 11. I will say that there's something about the tonality of it that you aren't even sure why you associate with transformation. But you do.
I whisper over to Karina, I have a really bad feeling about this chanting. I don't remember anything from before we came to that station, but I have this feeling that there's something wrong. There's something more with it. I feel like we should hurry.
Like, hurry to the chanting or hurry to get the fuck out of here?
I feel like the chanting is magical. And I think that, I mean, while leaving, we might avoid it. I feel like if we want to do something to stop it, I don't know.
I think you're right. And if everyone is good, I think we should head just straight towards the chanting. No more delays, no more looking in strange rooms. I feel like this is where we have to go. As she says this, she looks directly at Hawthorne as he walks up.
I was waiting to join the group, so I was wondering. Thank you for leading me in. So I, as she says that, I look at her and I would go, "Oh, aren't you a spicy one? Meow! I got you guys a present." But maybe I'll just keep it for myself, Karina. Do you want it? It's a book.
A book? Totally distracted from the mission. What? A present?
I'm not here
All
to
right,
apology.
show the class.
Fine, fine. No apology needed. You're pretty. Here you go. And he'll hand over the book. This is for you smart people. And he'll then go and just lean against something.
What is
Karina, as she's holding the flashlight, she will pass the book to Gloria.
I open the book.
it? Brock rustles over by you.
I'll kind of hold it out so we can all see. Is it in a language we know?
It is. It is in Common. And what you see here is a series of entries that follow the same pattern. It's a log. This is all handwritten. And as you flip through it first, before even reading any of the details, just flipping to see how many pages have been inked, dozens of pages, each one with at least 6 or so entries on each page. The entries themselves start with names. The first one, Anya Kovacs. Following the name is a very basic description. Slender, raven-haired, early 30s. And then, after name and description, there is a notes section. And on this first one, it says, struggled profusely. And you continue flipping. Names, physical descriptions. No sedative given. Bled copiously. And then you keep flipping and flipping and flipping until you reach the last entry. And the last entry reads, Nikolai Zorin, shaved head, scar down his left cheek. Notes, fed to Walter.
My finger just shakes as I point to that line. Karina, your theory that maybe Walter was the monster, I think, has some credence.
Yeah. Is there any dates on these entries?
No, they are not dated.
Okay. Are we still sure we want to go towards the chanting?
I turn to the rest of the group. I don't know. The chanting feels significant, but I also think that maybe we might be in over our heads. I don't know.
So, what did the book say?
Oh, 9. No, well, they're logs, and every entry describes somebody, and I think how they died.
Hawthorne's gonna slowly grab out the braided string and just hold on to it and just lean against the wall, not talking.
9, you saw the painting you saw the painting on the second floor that showed Walter, the baby, and had slash marks. Well, the last entry says that the final person was fed to Walter.
So what you're telling me is this little book here is telling me that Walter's supposed to be the monster?
Ethan, when I was looking at the bones, would the slashes, as they were similar to that of, a knife, would they be maybe caused by large teeth or claws? Would I be able to kind of inquire that?
Thinking back on it, unlikely. Now, there are certainly creatures that exist that have razor sharp claws and razor thin claws. So maybe. But they do seem, the ones that you noticed, seem more in keeping with a blade. And I'll give you one more chance here. If you roll me a healing check. And we're going to do this without the -2 right now, because this is just carrying over from what you previously did and you already succeeded. So it's still a D4.
Since we're working together, could I assist in some way? Since we're going through the notes together and we're talking about it, and I am skilled in healing?
So, I will give you two a choice here. You can either have Karina make the roll with Gloria helping, using the helping mechanic, or Karina can have voiced the question, and Gloria can make the roll. Up to you.
The only issue is Gloria didn't look at the bones.
She could walk. You are right next to it if you wanted to go do that.
I don't know if I
it's
looked
up
at
to
them. I
you.
think it would just be like offering suggestions.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
you
why don't
looking
I
for a
use-
bone?
Yeah, so I
Pulls
don't.
out femur that I had in my pocket.
Oh, shit. Sorry about that.
Oh,
Is there any markings on the femur, Ethan?
Yeah, it has some of those.
Okay. Then I will voice the question to Gloria and let her roll this.
Okay.
maybe I should just help. Well, I'll try. So I'm looking at the lines too. I'm hearing Karina's description, brainstorming. Is it teeth? Could it be claws? Could it be a knife? Like, I feel like I should know something about this but I don't quite have the memories to draw upon.
Got it.
Oh, yes.
10.
10. Definitely a knife. And with a 10, what you also notice, because of that raise, it was a serrated knife. Like a steak knife.
I almost would prefer if it had been claws, but look here at these divots in it. This is more than just a clean blade. This looks like it was serrated, like someone took something from the kitchen.
That explains why there's no meat on the bones.
Hawthorne's gonna be gagging this whole time.
I think we need to investigate the chanting. Well, all these lives, all these people, we should try to figure out what happened.
Were they eating people?
It looks like it.
Oh yeah, yes, most certainly, and wasn't the baby's name Walter?
Yes.
So and he tenses fingers. So what I'm to understand here is that Walter, the child of this abode here, of this family, is being fed other living creature humans. So
that's what we're gathering from the book.
I don't think this is a good baby like the children were saying originally.
I
Help the
think you're
baby.
right. Brock, I don't think it's a good baby. I think we need to gather ourselves.
Just trying to wrap my head around whether or not we're going to have to kill a baby.
I don't think that's a baby anymore.
I can't help but to agree with 9. I don't think
Thank goodness.
counts as a baby anymore.
A monster is doable. Where's the face of innocence? Absolutely not.
I think Innocence left this house a long time ago.
I was just gonna say that.
So Hawthorne, while everybody is having this conversation, is getting very angry and a tear is rolling down his face. He really doesn't fully understand why, but he's getting more and more upset the more they talk about this child and the shit that he's gone through. And so he shoves the string back in his pocket, grabs out his billy club and has his knuckles on and starts just walking towards the chanting.
Okay. Is anyone else following behind?
Yeah.
This is a narrow tunnel, and as a result, Hawthorne's going first. Who's going second? I saw Brock's hand first, so I'm going with...
Yeah, but as he goes through the tunnel, he's not looking straight through the tunnel. He's going up against the walls with his hands on the...
Okay. And then Karina,
I'll go last.
then Gloria, then 9. Got it. Hawthorne, could you please make me a notice check at a -2?
I got a 3.
A 3. You keep walking. And like I said, this hallway is about...
Am I taking up a lot of the space? Because I'm pretty big.
Oh yeah, I mean the tunnels here are only about 4 feet wide. You are taking up most of the width. From the intersection, it's about 25 feet until the next intersection with the stairway leading down and the other pathway. But after you've only, with your billy club and your brass knuckles on, you've only taken about 6 long strides when there is suddenly a sound of breaking wood, and you all watch as Hawthorne drops through a trap door that had been concealed by little bits of dirt. And let me roll the damage here really quick. 10 total damage to Hawthorne. So your toughness is 7. It was 10 total damage. So the amount that beat it was 3. So it didn't beat it by a raise. So that means all the in-game effect is you are shaken. And shaken means that you can't do any of your basic actions. You can still move, you can do any free actions, but you are mentally stunned. You are a little out of sorts. You can, if you wish, spend a Benny to make a soak roll to ignore the damage, or without spending a Benny, you can make a spirit roll to try to break the shaken effect.
Use the Benny.
I will admit I want to use a Benny, but at the same time, in this instance and for the story effect, I think Hawthorne, being so spirited and angry about everything, he would literally fall through and then just try and shake it as fast as he can and just get out because he had a mission and he was on something. So I will do a spirit roll.
Okay, make me a spirit roll.
7.
7.
I have a lot of spirit.
And it's a good thing to have. So that does mean you will shake off the shaken effect, but Hawthorne drops. Hawthorne, you feel as the wood planks from under your feet splinter and snap, and you manage to turn, not even intentionally, but as you're falling, your flashlight points down just in time for you to notice the half a dozen, maybe 10 sharpened stakes here at the bottom of this pit that as you drop, scratch up your sides, giving you numerous bloody nicks from it that you luckily manage to avoid the worst of. You are down about 10 feet.
Checking my height.
You're a minotaur, so... I mean, 7 feet is not unreasonable. You could probably reach with a stretch the lip and get pulled out. But before that happens, how does Hawthorne immediately react?
Okay, so Hawthorne's going to be walking with a purpose, and then all of a sudden the ground's going to come out from under him. And it's kind of going to be a little cartoonish with his eyes just ginormously wide as he just plummets downward. And then he scrapes, and as he's getting scraped and strapped, he's, fuck! And he's just cursing really badly. And he's like, fucking hey! And he looks up. You guys okay?
Are you okay?
Fuck no!
Do you want help out? Nine?
What happened?
And he just points. He just stands there and points at the hole.
Ethan, how far across is the hole? Like, can they get across it?
Okay, it is only about 5 feet by
So they
4
would be able
feet.
to jump it.
Oh yeah, now that you all
They would be
know
able
where
to.
it is, it's an easy task to get over it. The
Okay.
deadliness
I was
of this
curious.
trap was it being difficult to notice. Now that you see it, no problem.
So my question to y'all: are y'all gonna jump over to let me through, or am I just gonna have to lift you up and throw you each over the hole?
I think Karina, seeing what happened, is going to take point on this, and she's going to look, like, kind of shuffle past Brock, look down the hole. I hope you don't mind, Hawthorne, but I think I should lead on from now on. And she's going to leap over the hole and just wait on the other side for Gloria to follow.
Is Hawthorne still in the pit? As this is happening?
Gonna
At this moment,
Gonna
Hawthorne
help him
is in
get
the
out.
pit thinking that someone's going to help him, and Karina just jumped across, and he looks down a little because she has a dress on, and he didn't want to be rude, and then he's like, yeah, Karina, and he starts to grab the ledge to try and bring himself up, but he was waiting for 9, but he heard shuffling, and he saw her jump, so he's going to start going.
Just Raging Bull, just chill out. I got you. Don't worry about it.
I'm not very strong, so why don't I get out of the way so that 9 can help you up, Hawthorne? Don't worry, help is coming. I'm just gonna try to get over there.
Float on over.
And as she leaps over, she steps on his hand that's
No.
grabbing the ledge.
I flap my wings. And then I flap
God
my
damn
wings.
it,
It looks
Gloria.
like I'm gonna levitate, and instead I stomp on your hand.
Take
And
a
I'm-
penny, Gloria. And take 1 point of damage, Hawthorne, that totally gets ignored because it doesn't get past your toughness, so who cares? Alright, so 9 reaches down
All right,
Hey.
big man.
and helps pull Hawthorne out of this pit. You have a number of cuts across your legs, and as you inspect yourself to notice the damage, you notice how close one of the spikes came to the family jewels was very close. But you got at least 7 or 8 good nicks on you that they're not bleeding heavily, but it's like you got scraped by a stake.
Hawthorne's gonna just start like touching, he's making sure everything's okay, touches jewels and everything. It's like, okay, thanks, man, thanks. And he just pats 9 and then starts to continue.
And eventually, all of you cross over this trap, and you find yourselves at one more intersection. The way you came, the way straight ahead, which descends with that earthen staircase, and the chanting very clearly coming from that direction. And then, another staircase about the same height as the one that came from the dining room, leading to your left to another hallway that from here, since it leads up, you can't see what it is.
Okay, now that we can hear the chanting clearly, can I make out any of the phrases or at least the language?
It's still the same. It's not that much clearer from right here than it was just from 15 feet earlier. But you suspect if you go down, you'll definitely be able to make it out.
Well, I barely know you, and it's been pleasant. So if we all die horribly in the next 10 minutes, at least I died in good company. And she's going to start heading down the stairs towards the chanting.
Nine, before walking down, is just going to reach in his back pocket and pull out some very nice fingerless gloves, but they look worn, like the knuckles have been used a lot, and put them on. Because I'm behind you, so none of you will see this, but the camera does. Just put them on. It's just like, and reach into his pocket and touch his little mouse, and breathe heavy into it. Collect himself before going down.
You collect yourself and then hustle for a few seconds to catch up with your friends. The dusty stone steps descend, and then they arrive at a landing, take a corner, and continue to descend around a bend until they end at a cold, rectangular chamber. There's a thin, clinging mist hovering just above the ground, and the wooden crossbeams that support the ceiling down here audibly groan beneath the weight of the house and the complex overhead that you just walked through. The walls of this room are cut with small chiseled alcoves. Each one of them has you can see that there is a thing in each one. They look like strange trinkets or relics. There is a corridor with a sagging ceiling that exits the chamber and bends out of sight to the right. Past it, you can see a stone slope that descends into black, murky water. And that ghostly chanting that you've heard ever since you descended that stairwell from the attic is strongest here, and seems to be emanating from the other side of a rusted, closed portcullis. And now that you're down here and your feet hit the ground, you are able to make out the sounds and the words. She is the ancient. She is the land. She is the ancient. She is the land. Over and over and over again.
Hawthorne's going to pull out his gin bottle that he has still, and he's going to take a big giant swig of it and just stand there.
Big man, you all right?
Fuck no.
You want to know a little secret?
Yeah, man. What you got?
I'm not okay either. This shit's fucking scary. These fucking book learners up there, they know everything. They fucking know what's going on. I don't. All I do is punch shit. Okay? But we got each other's back. We got them. They got us. And what needs to happen is that we need to figure out whatever the fuck is down there. I don't know who the fuck she is, but if she's got her own fucking groupies down there, just calling out her name, having a fucking session down there, then we just go in there, bust some heads, figure out what the fuck is going on. Apparently, this fucking family, I guess the Dursters, or the Durst, whatever their fucking name is, this was on that fucking crypts back there, okay? Whoever the fuck they are, they turned their kid to a fucking monster and been feeding people. So I see this as they are the bad guys. And at this point in time, I'm not here rescuing a kid. I'm here to beat the shit out of a monster, okay? And that's what I'm here for. I have completely done with that.
I feel like we're a little unequipped for this situation, and he's gonna take back the bottle from him and drink again.
But the one thing I need from you, look, it's a really shitty situation. I'm nervous too, but I need you going in this level-headed. I know that seems a lot for me because I ripped the fucking door off earlier. I get that. I am angry about this situation. But you got a fucking billy club, you got your brass knucks, and you got those 2 big fucking horns on your head. I'm pretty sure you can run people through with that shit. If it's anyone besides us, you run them through. Beat them down.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Okay.
Okay? All right?
Yeah,
okay,
I'm here.
smack on the face. You good? You good?
Yeah.
Okay?
I'm here.
You here? Okay.
Maybe. Sure. Okay.
All right.
Now, from this reliquary room, there are 3 paths forward. Well, 3 paths. The stairwell you just came down, and the 2 pathways that I mentioned earlier. The one that has a sagging ceiling and bends out of sight to the right. And the other on the left, which has black, murky water and a heavy, rusted portcullis blocking the way. The water looks, from here, probably about a foot and a half deep. You're not swimming. But the portcullis is closed currently. For those of you who don't know, portcullis, heavy gate. The kind that gets lifted and dropped. There's your geeky SAT word of the day. Portcullis.
If Karina was to look around with the flashlight on either side of the gate, can she find the lever or a wheel or anything to lift the portcullis?
Wonderful question. Make me a notice check.
That's a 7.
You look in with the flashlight, and looking into this room, you notice a few things. First of all, even before you spot what you're trying to see, you see that the floor of the whole room beyond this portcullis, or as much of the room as you can see, is covered in water. In the center of the room, there are stairs that rise together to form an octagonal dais, about 6 or so feet above the surface of the water. Step, 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 that lead up to this central stone stage or platform. Then, looking around for any mechanism to control the portcullis, you follow the chains, and before you get to where the chains lead, you notice that the chain is broken. So there was a mechanism in here for lifting it, but the mechanism seems to have broken with time, and might therefore simply require brute force instead.
Do we get the sense that that if the chain was fixed, it would be able to open?
I mean, potentially, yes. The only problem is that the chain is on the opposite side of the portcullis.
I wonder, could I use a PowerPoint and try to unlock the portcullis? It says it could be used in place of what's it called? Repair or thievery, to open something that could be distinctly open or shut.
Which one is this? Lock/unlock?
Yeah, I was just reading the unlock.
Okay. So, this is the first usage of a power, if memory serves. So, in order to do that, you have to make a skill roll with your relevant arcane skill, which I believe for
Is
you
occult.
is occult. So go ahead and make an occult check, just to make sure that you succeed and don't get any backlash.
4.
4, exactly what you needed. So, the way that this is going to work is first of all, how does this physically manifest around Gloria as you manifest this power? What are the trappings of it?
Yeah, so hearing Karina talk through being like, oh, there's a lock. I imagine that Gloria kind of looks over, and then my wings flap a little bit, and as they do, there's this kind of sense of shadows, which you wouldn't anticipate, but it's almost like the air around sort of shimmers as like a shadow kind of runs through her, and from her finger she kind of flicks it, and a little spark kind of shoots off.
And you hear the tinkling sound of metal chain links. And Karina, you cast your flashlight that direction again, and where you saw the chain was broken, it is now made whole. But now, you're still faced with the problem of where the mechanism might be to lift it. But the chain is repaired, so should you find that mechanism, it should work.
I'm surprised it worked. I'll be honest, I wasn't totally sure.
I'm not seeing a device in this room.
Hawthorne?
Is it possible for Nine and Hawthorne to lift the gate now that the chain is fixed?
You can always try. So, if the two of you would like to do it together, what I'll need is Nine and Hawthorne to choose who is making the primary roll. The other person can then help.
Okay, so Hawthorne's gonna look around and see that the girls are trying to find something to lift it, and he's gonna tap because Nine and him have been drinking standing here. And he's looking around for Brock, too, because he hasn't seen him in a while, and he sees him over there. He's like, okay, he just makes sure he's right there. He needs to know where he is. Taps Nine. Hey, man, you think we can lift it?
Yeah, I think we can lift this. Light work. We work those rookie numbers up. It's fine. Light work.
Well, you think you got it better than me, or you think, I mean, we can put money on this? Who's got this better? You want to take this first, or you want me to take it first?
I'll go first.
Okay. I'll give you main. I'll give you main go. Let's just say I'll give you prime position. Brock, we need you as a spotter. Just watch.
Are you sure of that? Are you fucking sure about that?
First of all, what the fuck? I have really good eyes. Nine, maybe not as good as yours, but
No,
we can't help you.
No. He doesn't mean your eyesight. He means spotting. As in, if something were to go wrong, could you said heavy thing?
Oh, absolutely not.
Brock, just follow us so you're not in here alone, okay? Come on.
Oh, I see what this is, and I'm totally okay with that.
We know you got those specialized. And so Nine's gonna go over there and what do I need to make now to lift this bitch?
Okay. So, if you are trying to lift it on your own, that's
no, Hawthorne
one thing.
is helping.
Okay, Hawthorne's helping.
Hawthorne's helping, but Nine's the main person.
So in that case, Hawthorne, are you helping by also lifting? Then could you make me first just a strength attribute roll? I do want to remind you all of something. You can spend a Benny at any point to re-roll anything other than a critical failure.
I'm going to spend a Benny here.
Okay. So roll it again. 6. So that is a success, which means 9, you will get to add 1 to your total result here. So now you go ahead and also roll me a strength roll, please.
Rolly. Kadoosh.
So then we add +1 to that. So that is a total of 8, which is a success with a raise. So between the two of you, with Brock as supervisor, it's an important role for any physical activity around the house. You need a supervisor. There is the squealing sound of metal that hasn't been moved for a long time. And the two of you feel your feet, either boots or hooves or whatever may be, sinking a little bit into the mud as you exert this force and it exerts it back on you. But eventually, it starts to lift slowly. And you can see as the sharp, or the bottom portions of the portcullis lift above the surface of the water, dripping down into the black murk that comes up around your calves and boots as you're doing this. And eventually, you manage to get it high enough that the two of you can put your shoulder underneath it to hold it. But now you're here. Karina?
I think after noticing them lifting the gate, because that would be very obvious.
It's loud.
And since Karina was already searching for the mechanism, she's going to follow the chain and see if she can't find the lock to keep the portcullis open. Because normally there's like a pin or something that you can put in to prevent it from falling back down.
So where are you trying to look for this?
Oh, she's going to go past the gate. Like, she's going to walk past the two of them and search through there, like following where Gloria fixed the chain. And she's going to see if she can't find the end.
So, you see as Hawthorne and Nine have lifted this portcullis, they're holding it on their shoulder to give you all time to get into the chamber. And as you splash into the chamber, as soon as you cross the threshold, from the reliquary and this hallway and into this chamber with the raised stone dais, that chanting that you've been hearing for the last maybe hour stops.
Oh, shit.
Uh-oh.
And we will pick up there next time.
Oh.
It knows we're here.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The City of the Crimson Tower. Gloria was played by Anna Margaret, Karina by Maddie, Nine by Mav, Hawthorne by Sally, and Brock by Lauren. Your narrator was Ethan.